Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the Broadway Limited Class J steam locomotive number 611. This is a Paragon 3 rerun of this locomotive. You may have seen a trend lately with Broadway Limited re-releasing some of their locomotives with Paragon 3. If you don't know what that is, it is a new system that's supplemented with a subwoofer so you get some nice bass sounds, kind of like being trackside on your layout. If you want to see the full review of the Class J, check out my channel, search for 611 Broadway Limited, should bring it up. If you want to see the Paragon 3 system, subwoofer system, you can check out that review as well. These are selling like hotcakes right now, very hard to find. Trainworld.com is where I got this. They have them in stock as the date of this recording. They have several Class J's in stock, and in general they're a good place to find stuff hiding out that has sold out elsewhere. And MSRP again $3.99. So let's get started on the product demo of this, starting right now. Alright, we're going to unbox the locomotive, check out some details. This notice talks about the smoke unit, so don't raise the smoke unit too high basically. Operator's manual, over 25 pages, 31 to be exact, talking about everything from configuration variables, etc. Exploded parts diagram, Broadway Limited 1-year warranty, Choo-choo shoes, which are coming soon. This is an advertisement for those. If you want information on those for some reason, please pause your screen and read about it right there. Thinking about doing a review on those. I don't know what you guys think. Here we have the locomotive. One thing I can already tell a difference from the previous run, I think, is I don't think they wrapped it in paper, but I could be wrong. The previous run, but looks like it's wrapped in paper. Oh, I love that finish. Here is the tender. Love the gloss appearance on this. I think it's great. And then there's the speakers. But that's the unboxing pretty much. You've got a smoke funnel here. There's a little bit of smoke already installed. Not a ton. You've got this hex key tool or hex tool or whatever you want to call it to change out the traction tires on the drivers. You've got a couple other pieces in there, an additional piece here. I believe that's a dummy front for the dummy coupler at the very front of the locomotive. Just some accessories and pieces on the side. Let's take a look at the locomotive a little closer. I think one thing that definitely sets Broadway Limited apart from several other manufacturers that produce the J is this lovely finish and how they do different versions in freight, museum version, etc. And the last time I reviewed this, I believe, was on my old layout, but I've got way better lighting now, and you can just see how this thing is nice and glossy. And some people don't like it because it's got fingerprints. I absolutely love it. I think it just makes a beautiful locomotive. I'm glad I made the decision to buy this, because before I was debating, because I've got the Paragon 2, but I said, what the heck, let me go ahead and do it. So let's start at the front here, take a look. You've got the classification lights, which, if I know BLI correctly, those don't work, but they do catch light just right. That kind of makes them look like they're lit. LED headlight, number boards on each side of the headlight, the front handrail. You've got the handrails that run up the sides here. You've got the front coupler, which is a plastic coupler. Coupler cut lever, a little hard to see. It's also glossed black. You've got the crew entry ladders, or crew ladders, up to the side with some safety treading all the way down the walkways there. Got the lead trucks here. This is a 484, that means 4 pilot trucks, 4 drivers, 4 trailing trucks. Or wheels, I should say, not trucks and not wheel sets. 4, 8, and 4 actual wheels. Driving rods and side rods look nice. Eccentric crank looks nice. Everything checks out so far. We'll check out on operation obviously later. On the back you have cab figures installed. You've got a deck plate here that's movable. You have plug and play, it looks like 8-pin, or let's see, I think it's 8-pin plug right there. You've got the drawbar for the tender. You've got boiler backhead detail. A little hard to see, so I'm going to get some light in there for you. There you go. See that boiler backhead detail there? It's all molded in, but nice. And you have the cab figures on each side as well. Alright, rotating still, you've got these back windows, obviously. Crew entry handrail there. Got cab windows. They appear to be adjustable, but I don't know if I can actually move them or not. It's going to be a little difficult. Perhaps they're not adjustable. That one's kind of up in the air. Very, very sturdy handrails along the sides here. And you've got throttle cable, or whatever you call it, separately applied on the side there. So looking at the top detail just for a second, tilt that over. You've got the cab roof vents that open and close. You got the whistle and smokestack detail. Some other details there up top. Maybe one day I'll learn what those are. But yep, that's the 611 Class J locomotive. Let's take a quick look at the tender. Now, tender is more of the same in terms of that nice gloss finish. There's a little bit of matte or flat around the coal load. Coal load looks very realistic. You've got a lot of detail on that end. Real nice gloss. I think they nailed the color of the Norfolk and Western and the stripe, maroon stripe there. But I'm also red-green colorblind, so you'll have to be a judge for yourself on that one. On the back you've got water hatches, rivet detail, crew access ladder to the coal load, and a toolbox all molded in. On the back, crew access ladder, coupler cut lever. Print is legible. Taking a look, you can read everything. Talks about the tonnage and everything else. Rear light. And on the other side, step ladders, or I'm sorry, crew steps, or whatever you want to call them, to access areas of the tender. So very nice tender as well. Matched perfectly with the locomotive. Ready to get it running. You can probably already hear the Paragon 3. See the headlight? It is basically a flat white with just a tiny hint of gold into it. Let's listen to some sounds with F1 bell. Two, whistle. So there's also sounds like blowdown on F5. Water fill F6. F7 turns smoke on and off. F8 turns volume on and off. And then there's a start up and shut down sequence. Something people like me to do with Broadway Limited is use the alternate horn, so I will do that now. The whistle, I should say, alternate whistle on F22. So basically, there are actually 3 whistles. That was 2 using F22 to trigger a quick change in that. There's also freight announcements, passenger announcements, etc. That was the grade crossing horn. So lots of different sounds here on this model. We're going to move this thing, check slow speed control. You can hear the chuffs, the Paragon 3 subwoofer supplementing. See the puffing synchronized smoke. There are 4 chuffs per revolution, which is correct. Speed step 2 now. 3. 4. And 5. Now that the drivers are center of the camera, I'm going to go 1 speed step so you can see. Very, very good motor control. Very, very slight hesitation. Go in reverse now, 1 speed step. Two. 3. 4. And 5. I'm going to trigger the shutdown sequence so you can hear that. Well, there it is, shut down. Alright, let's take a look at the pull test here. I'm going to hold this. Oh, it is all over the place from 4.7 to 6.3 to 8.4. Not a real consistent draw. I don't know. I've had this happen before, and I think it's happened on a Broadway Limited locomotive, but to be safe, we can go with 4.7, which seems to be the low. 4.5, 4.7, that's still pretty good because there's 15 cars, approximately freight cars per ounce, so this thing could pull 60 cars easily by itself, probably more. Broadway Limited has done some improvements in their pulling power, so it could be, you know, upwards of 70 or 80 cars, and this is a passenger locomotive, so you wouldn't need more than, you know, a dozen or 2 dozen passenger cars, and that could easily be pulled by this. So sorry, the pull test is slightly inconclusive, but just at the bottom end you're at almost 5 ounces, which is pretty good. Alright, we're going to go ahead and do the coupler height test here. These couplers really don't like each other. Hard to tell, it looks like dead on to me, but one thing I got to tell you about the coupler height is you guys have the perfect angle. I'm offset. I tried to look at the viewfinder, but that's pretty small. We'll check the front real quick. You can tell this is a real good puller because it doesn't, oh, Geronimo in the background there, it doesn't want to move when you're just trying to move it along. Front coupler still out of view. What is going on here? Alright, that is, looks like about dead on as well. So Looks like dead on front and back, maybe a little high, smidgen high on the front. Well guys, that's going to wrap up the product demo. It really pretty much was a review minus weight and NMRA specs. But product demo of the Class J number 611 steam locomotive from Broadway Limited. Overall, very nice locomotive. If you're a fingerprint nut, be aware that the museum version is glossy. I'll show you a run-by at the end of this video. Some people, you know, they want the deck plates to lay down completely in between the locomotive and tender. For some reason I can't really get the deck plate to lay down, so it's at an angle. It looks like it could lay down further, it just won't move. So maybe I gotta play with that. But other than that, I really couldn't find anything to fault on the model. I think it's a great model, and Broadway Limited's leading the industry in prices for quality DCC and sound locomotives with things like puffing smoke and the Paragon 3. And don't get me started on Paragon 3, because totally love Paragon 3. I think it's a great something to add another dimension to your layout. So that's it for me. Gonna leave you with the run-by of just the locomotive at the grade crossing. People ask me why I don't turn on the grade crossing bells, you know, lights and the gates movement and all that. I just think it takes away from the sound. So I'm letting you guys see it at the grade crossing without all that on. But we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.